I'm Eddie with Vinyl Buzz, and I'm here with Andrew McMahon from Jack's Mannequin.
How you doing?
How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. Thank you.
Pretty good. So how do you feel to be back in Cleveland? Sold out crowd waiting for you down there?
Excited, yeah. It's good to have a sold out show. We love playing Cleveland. It's actually probably one of my favorite house of blues in the country, so it'll be a good one to play tonight.
What makes it so different, man?
It's a little more intimate than the other ones. You know, the stage is a touch smaller, which, you know, it's nice to have the band real close together, and the balconies push forward kind of closer to the front of the stage, so just everybody feels kind of neatly packed in rather than spread out.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
the dim lighting helps too, you know.
Oh yeah. The dressing rooms are great.
Exactly. What question do you hate the most out of in interviews? What do you hate being asked?
What is the band name mean?
I wasn't gonna ask you that. So
yeah, good. Yeah, I'm glad we got it out of the way.
For all the vinyl lovers out there, are there any plans to press any something corporate albums on vinyl?
You know, I actually been trying to get Universal to do a 10-year anniversary copy of Leaving Through the Window, and you know they don't seem very interested. So yeah, I mean, if I own the rights to the Something Corporate catalog, I would press every single one of the records. I mean, we'll continue to press them, and hopefully at some point they'll step up and decide to get behind it. Because I mean, you know, every one of these Jack's vinyls, we sell tons of the Jack's Mannequin vinyls. So I would think that the SoCo ones would do well, but it's kind of in the record company's hands at this point.
They need to. They would sell them all.
Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah,
whenever I hear
it's a missed opportunity.
Exactly. You know, you played many shows, many festivals, but is there that one moment that will always be with you? That just stands out in your mind?
Gosh, I mean, there's a myriad of moments that'll stick with you. This past year that we did Coachella with Jax was a pretty epic moment. I felt like the festival stuff is always kind of sticks with you just when you kind of get that huge spread and you got thousands if not more than 10,000 people in front of a stage is always pretty epic. But yeah, I mean that's one that at least from recent memory sticks with me for sure.
What's the craziest thing a fan has ever done?
Craziest thing a fan has ever done. God, that's a hard one to answer. You know, she probably hates me for saying this because just about every time I get asked this question, I at least within the past year, I've been mentioning this girl who has been making these photo booklets of pictures that she pulls offline and superimposes cats all over the pictures.
I know a girl like that.
Yeah, and I believe that she actually has a website with the pictures on there. I love her. She's a sweet girl, and I don't think she's actually crazy. But I think the cat's pictures.
Are you with the cats?
The cats are added into the photograph.
At least she's not putting a cat on your body,
Well, sometimes the cats are perched on top of my shoulders or being thrown out of my hands. And, yeah.
It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
What I know you're touring all the time and you're busy, but have you had any time to listen to any bands? What's your favorite new upcoming band that's out right now?
There's this band Friends that I've been following a little bit. That I don't think the record's out yet, but they put out a couple singles that I just think are fantastic. I mean, a few of the songs off the new M83 record I'm digging a lot. As far as I guess it's not up and coming, but the last My Morning Jacket record was huge for me. Who else would be sort of some of the? There's a couple of the up and comers, but there's definitely. I definitely follow closely. What's coming out these days. Absolutely.
That's important. Now let's flash backward a few years. What '90s band would you bring back today if you could? If you wanted to tour with someone from the '90s, you could pick whoever you want. Who would it be?
'90s band that I would. I actually always had a real soft spot for Semisonic, for that first record, that first Semisonic record. I mean, I was in high school, got probably maybe sophomore in high school when that record came out, and I loved it. I mean, I thought it was kind of for me, I was a piano player, so there's definitely some good keyboard parts in there, but still good guitar work on that record and a lot of great songs. I mean, Dan Wilson, the singer of that band's gone on to win Grammys writing songs for Adele and for a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind hearing those guys come back and play some of those old songs. New Radicals would be another one. You ever hear that? Do you like that New Radicals record?
Actually, I've never.
It's a good record.
I should probably heard it yet.
Also, a very cool record.
Yeah. I might do that. Actually, before we go any farther, we have gifts.
Gifts.
So
I love gifts. Yeah.
Gifts,
Gosh, wow. Lucky me.
All right, man.
Check that out. Got a new laptop bag. I'm very excited.
You know that. You want a MacBook Pro?
No.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
Actually,
mine's pretty banged up at this point.
It's a collage of cats. And
I can't believe it.
Me and that girl teamed up, actually. She's a friend of mine, yeah. Very close. Very good girl. All right, man. Let's start off with... I know that, Hendrix is one of your influences.
Oh, yeah.
But we got Never Been Open. What'd I say? That's some early Hendrix.
That's amazing, man. Wow. That's incredible.
Hope you dig it. Do you listen to vinyl at all?
I do, yeah. I mean, absolutely. Yeah, I've got a record player at home, and I've been collecting for probably 5-6 years now.
What was the first record that you ever bought? Can you remember that far back? Not saying.
I mean, one of the first albums I picked up. I mean, we had record players in my house when I was a kid. So certainly, there was always records being played in the house. So I probably the first one I was listening to was like Joshua Tree, by U2. But probably one of the first records I bought when I was starting to just kind of build a collection, because I got a record player several years back, was Prairie Wind by Neil Young. Kind of one of the more recent Neil Young records, but just an epic, awesome Neil Young album. But yeah, from there I just I did a lot of digging back and buying records that I knew and had grown up with that I wanted to hear on mine.
Yeah. Do you have any Billy Joel?
I do. I have which Billy Joel do I have?
Your Songs in the Attic?
I don't.
There you go, man.
That's amazing, and just so you know, this is actually the record I warm up with every night.
No.
On tour. Yep. That's amazing. I'm so stoked to have this. Actually, it's incredible.
I'm glad. I was hoping that.
Are you familiar with this record at all?
It's more or less.
Yeah, I mean, there's some great tunes on this, but yeah, I warm up to about 7 of the tunes on this album every night before I play a show. So that's awesome. That's amazing. I'm blown away. We got glass houses there, huh?
You have glass houses.
See, I didn't grow up on glass houses, but I'm certainly will be honored to.
You ever seen the movie Glass House?
No.
No, it's a horrible movie.
But it has nothing to do with Billy Joel, I guess.
No, it was with this girl with a pointy nose starring it. What's her name? But
Let's see, your face on that one.
Yes, dude.
So I hope you enjoy those.
Are you kidding? It's an honor, man. Thank you so much. You're probably the first interview that's ever brought me a gift. So,
no way.
Yeah, so thank you.
Really?
That's incredible. I will cherish those. Really.
How many interviews have you had in your... Put something corporate in there too. You've had to have like hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but like hundreds to thousands.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even begin to guess. You know what I mean? I do a lot of them. Not all of them in person. A lot of them are on the phone. But yeah, I mean, especially when you get to putting out a record. I mean, you can get a good couple hundred per record at least.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
How has the your newer record, People and Things? Wait, no way.
People and Things you got.
People.
You got it.
All right. You gave me like a look.
No. I was waiting for you to finish the question.
Now you made me forget, man.
Well, there you go.
I know it's been out for a little while, but how has that record been doing? Has it still been having success now, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had a huge first week on the record, and yeah, it continues to sell. I mean, it's the modern music business is kind of a whole different deal. Without radio and whatnot, it's harder to drive the engine. But yeah, I mean, we're still selling them. It's doing well out here for us. The tour's been doing great, and yeah, I mean, I think the new single release me's up to like somewhere around 41 on the chart. So I think we're crossing our fingers that in the next few weeks we see that pop over the top. But yeah, I mean, as far as records for Jack's Mannequin go, yeah, it's been doing great. I've never had that that home run with a radio song or whatever. But yeah, for the climate of the business right now, yeah, I'm really happy with how it's doing.
Free online download for against.
I mean, yeah, for or against, it's like that's like fighting against. I guess for, because the reality is at this point, especially now in the modern music business, it's like just to get a label to get records in a store for somebody to buy is such a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? I mean, truthfully, it's like, there's barely any places to actually go buy an album these days, other than Best Buy or Target, which, I mean, they've been great to us, but yeah, I mean, look, what we care about out here is that people come to the shows.
Yeah.
Of course, like if somebody really likes the music that they're hearing, if they're downloading it for free and they dig it, of course, yeah, we'd love them to support it by going and buying a record and proving to the people who put these out, that we have value out there. But I mean, we're just trying to spread the word and get people to listen to the music. So, whatever's going to do that, whether that be downloading or buying it or whatever, it's just like as long as the record ends up in people's hands, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know this was like a long time ago, but I was actually watching an episode of One Tree Hill the other day. And it was the episode that you were in.
Very interesting. Yeah. Very interesting.
I was like, hey, I'm going to be seeing him in a couple days.
Yeah. That was huge for us, actually. That drove a lot of people. I mean, the record at that point, everything in transit had been out, God, maybe 8 months at the point that we did that. And I had been sick at the time that the album had come out. So, to get anything to give life to a record 8 months after it's come out is a pretty big challenge. I think we sold another 100,000 records after that appearance. So it was pretty funny though. Being on One Tree Hill, those guys have always been really good to us though, and played our music and stuff.
Hillary Burton, she was in the mixtape.
Well, yeah, we did kind of like kind of a collaborative with those guys. They used the mixtape as a single release for a soundtrack that they put out to benefit a cancer charity. And so they used the mixtape and they put us on the show. And then while we were out there shooting the show, we shot the video with Hillary in it. So
that's pretty cool. Was that pretty cool?
Yeah, it was totally cool. I mean, everybody on that show, from the top down, the producers and the writer and creator, like, everybody's so sweet and so kind, and they've really supported us over the years. So I got a lot of love for them.
All those people, they were playing like high school students. They were like almost 30 years old.
Isn't that the way it goes? I mean, God, when I was growing up, it was 90210, and I'm pretty sure that everybody who was in that show was in their late 20s to early 30s. Yeah,
that's just funny. Also, you said that you were, you did that with the show, and you put out The Glass Passenger, and did all that with, while, being sick, being sick. What did that whole, having to work, harder at, not just, your health, but also your career and doing both. When it was all like over, what did you learn from that?
That I probably should have taken a break first. For me, working and writing and playing, I mean, it's, you call it work, but it's my passion. It's what I do. So it was sort of a pretty natural step to use, recording and writing new music and getting on the road as kind of a way to move my progress along. And yeah, I mean, what did I learn from all of it? Those lessons are still kind of sinking in. I think I probably, truthfully should have taken a moment for myself at some point in there to collect myself and really sort of figure out where I stood, but I didn't. All of the records that I've put out have been sort of statements about where I'm at in that period of my life, and I think if I had stopped, I would have missed capturing some of that, and that's really kind of how I've defined myself over the years, is by the music that gets created, through the different scenarios that I've made my way through.
If you could give advice for people that have been given a second chance, whether it be in life, relationships, or etc., what would you say?
You can put a lot of pressure on a second chance that'll end up blowing that second chance for you, So I think just kind of, do your best, try and take a lot of deep breaths and keep as conscious as possible, and just keep pushing forward.
All right, well, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah,
it's been awesome talking to you.
Yeah, you too,
Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thank you.